Life, with its unexpected turns, often tests us. There are times when the weight of circumstances seems unbearable, when everything we planned falls apart and we are flooded with doubts and fears. Bills pile up, dreams are shelved, and a feeling of impotence surrounds us. Why does thriving seem so difficult? Why does effort often not translate into results? Maybe you felt this way, as if you were fighting an endless tide without the strength to continue. But let me tell you something important. This feeling of helplessness is not the end. It is, in fact, an invitation. A call to change perspective, open your heart, and connect with something greater. God did not create you to live limited, trapped in a cycle of difficulties and scarcity. He formed you for abundance, to live in peace, joy, and purpose. But often, what prevents us from reaching this plenitude is the way we see the world and, mainly, how we see ourselves. Maybe you grew up hearing that money is hard to make, that life is a constant battle, or that only a few people are lucky enough to prosper. These beliefs have shaped your vision, and without realizing it, you have come to believe that you don't deserve more, that you are condemned to a life of limitations. But this is a lie, a shadow that needs to be dispelled by light. True prosperity begins within you. It's a change of mindset, an awakening to the truth that you already have everything you need to transform your reality. God has planted seeds of abundance in your heart, and those seeds are waiting to grow. However, they need to be watered with faith, trust, and action. Doubt is like a weed that chokes out these seeds. When you give in to fear, despair, or believe that nothing can change, it's like you're stopping blessings from blossoming. But when you choose to believe, even without seeing the entire path, something powerful begins to happen. Often, the answers we seek are right in front of us, but we are so focused on the problems, so overwhelmed by worries, that we fail to see them. That's when God whispers, "Trust me." He doesn't ask you to understand everything right away, nor does he demand that you have all the answers. He just wants you to take a step of faith, no matter how small. Because faith is the fuel that moves mountains, that opens doors where there were only walls before. I know it's not easy. Maybe you're thinking, but my situation is different. You don't understand how big my problem is. And I tell you, no matter the size of the challenge, God is bigger. He is not frightened by his limitations, nor is he tired of his weaknesses. On the contrary, he uses all of this to show you that with him, you can go further. The question is, are you willing to believe that? Are you ready to change the way you see life and, more importantly, how you see yourself? Life is full of hidden opportunities. Even in difficulties, there are valuable lessons, doors that can open in unexpected ways. But to do this, you need to be willing to change, to listen, to make space for the new. Often we are so caught up in what didn't work, what was postponed, that we don't realize that God is showing us a different path. That dream you had to leave behind, that idea that seemed impossible, maybe it's exactly the seeds he's asking you to plant now. And how to start? The first thing is to stop fighting yourself. You know that inner voice that insists on telling you that you're not capable, that you won't make it. It does not come from God. He sees you as a beloved son, full of potential, capable of achieving extraordinary things. When you start to believe this, something changes. You start to act differently, to make decisions with courage, to look for solutions instead of focusing on problems. Prosperity is not just about money. It's about living a full life, in balance, with peace in your heart and purpose in your steps. It's knowing that you're on the right path, even when you face obstacles. It's feeling gratitude for the small victories and trusting that the bigger ones are on the way. When you align with this truth, money also flows. It is the consequence of an open heart, a renewed mind, and actions aligned with the divine purpose. I want you to imagine something now. Visualize your life a year from now. Think about what it would be like if all your financial worries were resolved. How would you feel? What would you do differently? Who would you help? Now remember, this vision is not an impossible dream. It's a glimpse of what God has in store for you if you're willing to trust and act. He has already prepared the way. It's up to you to take the first steps. Maybe you're wondering where to start. The answer is simple. Start with gratitude. Look around you and recognize the blessings you already have. Even in difficulties, there are reasons to be grateful. Gratitude opens doors because it changes your energy, raises your frequency, connects you to the flow of divine abundance. Then work on your faith. Dedicate time to pray, to connect with God, to listen to what He has to say. And finally, act. Don't expect everything to be perfect. Take the next step, even if you are afraid, because it is in action that transformation happens. God wants you to prosper, to live fully. He did not create you to live trapped in debt, in worries, in a life without purpose. He made you to shine, to impact the world, to live in abundance. It all starts with a decision. Believe. And I ask you, are you ready to take this step? Are you willing to trust that God has something greater in store for you? And when you take that step, something incredible happens. Even in the midst of chaos, you begin to sense a divine order at work. It's as if a veil has been lifted from your eyes, allowing you to see possibilities where you previously only saw problems. This transformation is not just spiritual, it is practical, real, palpable. Trusting God is not waiting passively, but acting with the certainty that He is by your side, guiding your every movement. The journey will not be without challenges, but each challenge is an opportunity to grow. God is with you, supporting you, strengthening you, showing you the way. Believe this. Keep going. With each step you take in faith, with each small decision to trust in God, you begin to realize that the transformation you so desire is closer than you imagined. It's not just about gaining material possessions or solving financial problems, but about feeling the true peace that comes from knowing you're not alone. God, who is the creator of everything, is working in your life, opening doors, creating connections, and placing the right people in your path. It is important to understand that prosperity is a process. Just as a seed planted in the ground needs time, care, and patience to grow, the fruits you expect also take time to ripen. Often we are so focused on the end result that we forget to value the journey. But it is on the path that God shapes us, prepares us, strengthens us. It is on the journey that we learn the lessons that make us ready to receive the blessings that He has already prepared. You may be thinking, but what if I fail? What if everything goes wrong again? Let me tell you something. Failing is part of the process. Every mistake, every stumble is a learning opportunity. God doesn't expect you to be perfect. He knows your limitations, your weaknesses, and yet He chose to love you unconditionally. He doesn't judge you for the times you fall, but celebrates each time you decide to get up and continue. And the more you walk, the stronger you become, the more prepared to live the purpose He has for you. One of the most powerful things you can do in this process is to change the way you talk to yourself. Words have power. What you say about yourself, about your life, has a direct impact on your reality. If you constantly say, "I can't do it, this will never change, that's just how my life is," you are unintentionally reinforcing the barriers that prevent you from moving forward. On the other hand, when you begin to declare, "I can do it, God is with me, my life is changing for the better," something inside you transforms. These statements are not just words. They are seeds of faith that you are planting in your heart. Furthermore, it is crucial to remember that God does not only act in major events or extraordinary miracles. It is in the details, in the small gestures, in the opportunities that seem ordinary, but that carry a deep meaning. Sometimes the answer to your prayer lies in that unexpected invitation, that conversation with a friend, or even in the idea that popped into your mind during a moment of silence. God works in mysterious ways, and you need to be attentive to recognize the signs He sends you. An exercise that can help you connect even more with this divine flow is to set aside time daily to reflect and be grateful. Take a few minutes out of your day to think about the good things that happened, no matter how small they may be. It could be someone's smile, the food you had on your plate, or even the fact that you are alive and healthy. These moments of gratitude not only connect you with God, but they also help you see life in a lighter, more positive way. Another important step is to surround yourself with people who inspire you and encourage you to grow. The people around us have a huge impact on our lives. If you are surrounded by negativity, it is more difficult to maintain faith and motivation. Try to connect with those who share the same vision, who believe in a better future, who have positive energy and words of encouragement. God often uses these people to remind you that you are not alone, that there is a community of faith ready to support you. And never forget that the blessings you receive are not just for you. God blesses you so that you can be a blessing in the lives of others. When you share your prosperity, whether material or spiritual, you become an instrument of God's love. This doesn't mean you need to have a lot to give. Sometimes a simple gesture, a word of support, or even a listening ear can transform someone's life. And the more you give, the more you receive. Not because you seek something in return, but because this is the natural flow of divine love. Now imagine the person you want to be. Not just what you want to have, but who you want to become. Visualize yourself as someone full of faith, courage, determination, someone who, even in the face of adversity, maintains the confidence that God is in control. That person you imagine is not as far away as you think. It is already inside you, waiting to emerge. Every decision you make today, every act of faith, brings you closer to that version of yourself. Remember that God is not asking you for perfection, but for availability. He wants you to trust, to do your best, and to leave the rest in His hands. Because when you do that, when you surrender your fears, your doubts, your limitations to Him, you create space for the impossible to become reality. And perhaps at this moment, you are still carrying doubts, still feeling insecure about the future. This is natural. Faith does not eliminate all doubts, but it gives you the courage to move forward, even when the path is not completely clear. God doesn't promise it will be easy, but He guarantees it will be worth it. And every step you take in faith is one step closer to the abundant life He has prepared for you. So today, I encourage you to make a decision. Choose to believe. Choose to act. Choose to trust that God is with you, guiding your every movement, opening doors, strengthening your journey. It doesn't matter where you are now. What matters is where you are willing to go. God has something big in store for you, and all He needs is for you to say, "Yes, I trust. I'm ready to begin." When you decide to trust God and take the first step, even without knowing exactly where the path will lead, you enter a state of transformation. This decision doesn't eliminate challenges, but it changes the way you approach them. You stop seeing difficulties as insurmountable obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities for growth, as tests of faith that prepare you for something greater. It is important to remember that trusting God does not mean standing still and waiting for everything to be resolved by magic. Faith is action. It's getting up every day and doing what you can with what you have, trusting that God is multiplying your efforts. You may not see results immediately, but every step counts. Every effort is like a stone that builds the bridge to the life you want. Reflect on your journey so far. Think about the times you faced difficulties that seemed impossible and yet found a way out. It wasn't luck, it was God acting in His life, often in subtle but always present ways. He never abandoned you, and He will not do so now. He is by your side, even in moments when everything seems silent, even when the answers you expect take time to arrive. Life is made of cycles. There are times to plant, times to wait, and times to harvest. But the waiting period is what challenges us the most. It is in this interval, between what we desire and what happens, that our faith is put to the test. It's easy to doubt, to feel discouraged, to think that nothing is happening. But remember, the seed does not germinate overnight. The transformation takes place underground, away from the eyes, until the moment the first sprout emerges to the surface. And when this happens, it is a sign that the harvest is approaching. You are living your germination phase. The prayers you've prayed, the steps of faith you've taken, the decisions you've made in alignment with God are bearing fruit. Even if they are not visible yet, they are there, growing, gaining strength. Don't give up now. Believe that every act of faith is moving mountains, even if you don't see it right away. And when you start to reap the rewards, remember to honor the process. Cherish every small victory. Celebrate progress, even if it is slow. Because each achievement is a reflection of your faith and God's action in your life. Don't compare yourself to others. Each person has their own path, their own time. What God has in store for you is unique, and He knows exactly when and how to deliver it. Perhaps you are still carrying past hurts or regrets, feeling trapped by decisions you made or things that happened outside of your control. It's time to release these bonds. Forgiveness, both for others and for yourself, is an essential step on the path to prosperity. When you forgive, you free yourself from the weight that prevents you from moving forward. God does not want you to carry unnecessary baggage. He wants you to walk lightly, with a free heart, to receive the blessings that are to come. Remember that prosperity is more than financial resources. It's living in harmony, with health, with healthy relationships, with purpose. It's waking up every day with the certainty that you are on the right path, even when you face challenges. It's feeling gratitude for what you already have, while trusting that more is to come. And the most incredible thing is that when you start living with this spirit, financial prosperity also flows. It is a consequence of a heart aligned with God and a mind open to new possibilities. Start looking at how you can use your gifts and talents to serve. We all have something unique to offer the world. When we put our gifts into practice, we not only contribute to the lives of others, but we also open ourselves to receive. It's the law of return in action. The more you give, the more you receive. And it doesn't have to be something big. Often it is in the simple that we find the extraordinary. Think of an area in your life where you can start taking action right now. Maybe it's looking for a new opportunity, reorganizing your finances, improving your relationships, or simply dedicating more time to listening to God's voice. It doesn't matter the size of the step. What matters is the direction. And when you align yourself with God's plans, He guides you in surprising ways. Believe that you are worthy of God's blessings. This is one of the biggest barriers many face, feeling unworthy. But God doesn't bless you based on what you did or didn't do. He blesses you because He loves you, because He created you to live in abundance. When you accept this, you open yourself to receive. It's like a key that unlocks doors that previously seemed closed. And finally, never forget that you are in a continuous process of growth. It doesn't matter where you are today. The important thing is where you are going. God is with you at every step, celebrating your achievements, lifting you up in moments of weakness, and guiding you to a life of fulfillment. Take a deep breath and look to the future with hope. There is a purpose for everything you are experiencing right now, and that purpose is to prepare you for something greater. Trust, persist, and continue walking in faith. God is in control.